everybody, this is Mr. Regner, and I've got a quick introduction today for chapter 9.2. 9.2 is all about mean. And so when you hear the word mean, you probably think about somebody who's not nice. They're mean. But today we're talking about mean mathematically, and mean is a term we use in statistics to determine the average. So mean means average. So quick story that might help you remember this. When I was in, I think, first grade, there was a teacher. She must have been about 180 years old, and she did not play. She was not very nice at all. We all thought she was a pretty mean teacher. And whenever I think about mean, it helps me to remember that the average teacher is mean. What's funny about Mrs. Butcher is she turned out not to be that old and turned out to not be that mean. I actually ran across her later on in life after I was a first grader, and she was like one of the nicer people that I can remember meeting. But at the time, when I was in first grade and I had her as a teacher, I just thought she was the meanest person ever. Some of you might think that I'm the meanest person ever because I'm your teacher, and maybe you're going to think back and be like, wait, maybe that's not true. Turns out, most of the time, we tend to think of our teachers as being mean because maybe they're strict, maybe they want you to follow directions. And so the average teacher is mean. If you think of that saying, average, mean. Mean means average. So if you just remember that, that'll help you out. So whenever we're talking about mean, we can find this mathematically in a set of data. Remember last chapter we talked about what is a statistical question. So I pretended like I asked a statistical question to a bunch of people, and I asked them a question, how many siblings do you have? So I've collected my random data here on this board. So you can see I just randomly put my answers down. So somebody said 4, 0, 1, 2, I just wrote them all down. So in order to find the mean or the average of this information, I need to follow the following steps. First, I'm going to add together all of these numbers. So I have 4 plus 0, that would be 6, 7, 8, 10, 10, 11, and 13. So I have 13 total. So I'm going to take my total and I'm going to write that down. So total is 13. Okay, if I know the total is 13, to find the average, now I divide that by the total number of times I asked the question, or the number of responses I received. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to divide that by 10. So 13 divided by 10, that means my mean, or my average, is going to be equal to 1 3/10. Now that might seem weird because really, how can you have 1 3/10 siblings? I mean, I don't think anybody, like my daughter is kind of short, but I wouldn't count her as a third of a person, or 3/10 of a person, I should say. All right, so this is an average. It just means the average of our data set is 1 3/10. All right, so the mean number from all the people I asked is 1 3/10. Now you'll see this in data and in statistics. All right, this number is much smaller than some of these answers, like 4. It's even smaller than 2. It's also much bigger than some, like 0. All right, that's just the average. That's the way averages work. So I could ask you to go to a store, if we were able to go to a store and find the price of an item. We could find the price of the item at different stores, different brands, and then find the average price. All right, there's a lot of ways we can do that, but that's an introduction to mean. I hope this helps you out. Remember to read your chapter 9.2, watch all the example videos, complete the try it questions, and then go into Big Ideas Online and complete the assignment. All right, this is Mr. Regner saying, stay safe.